Hello, I am Tuệ An. Welcome back to Insightful Journey, a place where we sit down, savor a bit of peace, and untangle the knots in our hearts. Have you ever tossed and turned at 2 a.m., not worrying about tomorrow, but just because of a careless word you said 3 years ago? Or have you ever written and rewritten a 3-line email, deleting it, writing it again, and then deleting it again, just for fear that the recipient would judge you as unprofessional because of a misplaced comma? We often think that is carefulness, but actually sometimes it's a sign that we are self-abusing. We are harsher on ourselves than any judge out there. Why is that? Let me tell you about a friend I met. Let's call her Lian. Lian was the type of person whom everyone admired. She worked 12 hours a day, her house was always as tidy as a 5-star hotel, and her children attended top schools. But Lian never felt good enough. Once, Lian was assigned a big project. She worked day and night. The report was 50 pages long, detailed down to every number. Lian's boss read it, nodded, and praised her. "Very good, but could you adjust the chart here slightly to make it easier to read?" Just one sentence. That evening, Lian couldn't eat. She locked herself in her room. In her head, only one thought echoed. "Why are you so stupid? Why didn't you check more carefully? You ruined everything. Everyone will think you are incompetent." You see, 49 pages of excellent reporting no longer mattered. Just a tiny mistake in that chart became a death sentence for her self-esteem. Lian wanted everything to be 100 points. 99 points was a failure to her. She exhausted herself to achieve that illusory completeness. And what was the result? She was burned out, irritable with her husband and children, and constantly lived in fear. Fear of being wrong. Dear friends, does Lian's story have your shadow in it? The truth is, the price of perfection is not effort, but the peace of your soul. We suffer not because we are not good, but because we are chasing an unreal illusion called absolute. The all or nothing mindset is killing your joy in life. You think that if you can't do 100%, it's better not to do it at all. But life simply doesn't work that way. But wait. Someone might say to Tuệ An, "Brother, if we don't strive for perfection, does that mean we should live carelessly, sloppily? Does that mean we accept our incompetence?" Not at all. This is the crucial point that few realize. There is a huge difference between excellence and perfection. And what I am about to share might completely change how you work and how you love yourself. In psychology, Lian's state is called negative perfectionism. It doesn't stem from a desire to strive, but from fear. Fear of being judged, fear of being rejected. Deep down, the child in you believes, "I am only worthy of love when I don't make mistakes." But look at the philosophy of Buddhism. The Buddha taught about impermanence and non-self. Nothing in this world is complete forever. A flower blooms and will wither. The moon waxes and will wane. Trying to cling to a static state of perfection is going against the natural law. Furthermore, applied Buddhism embraces the concept of the middle way, the path in between. Neither being lazily indulgent, nor being harshly self-afflicting. Applied to work and life, it is about balance. Now, let's talk about the perspective of efficiency in modern management thinking, which I deeply appreciate. It's the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. This rule states, 80% of the results come from 20% of the core effort. Imagine this. To reach 80-90% completeness of a task, you only need to put in a reasonable amount of effort, focusing on what matters most. But to push from 90% to 100%, that flawless perfection, you have to put in double, triple, even 10 times the remaining effort. You stay up all night to adjust the font a little, when the content is already good enough. You spend an hour applying meticulous makeup just to go to the supermarket for 15 minutes. That extra effort does not yield proportionate value. Instead, it drains your energy, your time for family, and your health. That's not diligence. That is the waste of life's resources. A wise person is not someone who does everything perfectly, but someone who knows the optimal stopping point. So how can we, the self-tormentors, step out of this trap? Tuệ An wants to give you 3 simple but profound steps of practice. Step 1. Identify the judge's voice. When you make a small mistake and the voice in your head screams, "You are terrible," stop for 3 seconds. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And say to yourself, "This is just a thought. This is not the truth." Detach yourself from that judgment. You are the observer, not the accused. Step 2. Practice the good enough mindset. Set your goal as done instead of perfect. When doing something, ask yourself, what are the most important 20% that will create the result? Do that part excellently. The remaining minor details, allow them to be at an 80% level. For example, instead of cooking an elaborate 5-dish meal and then being too exhausted to eat, cook 2 delicious simple dishes, but sit down to eat with a genuine smile. Your smile, your peaceful presence, is far more valuable than the perfection of the meal. Step 3. Be compassionate to the inner child. Next time you make a mistake, imagine if your child or your best friend made that mistake. What would you say to them? Would you scold them harshly? Or would you say, "It's okay, you fix it. We'll do better next time"? Use that very gentleness for yourself. You deserve forgiveness. You are human, not a machine. Life is like an ink wash painting. The smudges, the uneven lines, sometimes create the very soul of the painting. Don't try to become a perfectly cast, polished, but soulless statue in a display case. Be a tree, with rough bark and some holes in its leaves, but with roots deep in the soil and branches reaching high for the sun. Optimal efficiency is when you achieve your goal while your heart remains peaceful. Remember, you don't need to prove anything. Your existence with all those lovely imperfections is a miracle already. If today's story touches you, leave a dot in the comments so Tuệ An knows you are starting the journey of letting go of the burden of perfection. Subscribe to the channel so we can continue to accompany you. Remember, I am still here if you need me.